What about now?
Maybe I'm not in the right place on your page, brother.
Well, let me go to my page and see what's up.
Okay, I see live now.
Oh, you see it? Okay, awesome. Yeah, it's just a little bit behind. So do you see the comment section?
Okay, I see live now.
Oh, you see it? Okay, awesome. Yeah, it's just a little bit behind. So do you see the comment section?
Okay, I see live now.
Yeah. Headphones. But but it was telling me to put on headphones if I hear feedback. I don't know about you. But it was telling me to put on headphones if I hear feedback. I don't know about you. But then at the same time, did you click to log in? But then at the same time, did you click to log in? Inside the comment section, there should be a link for you to click to join. Yeah. I can't believe we're doing. This was not the plan. There was no. Well, the plan clearly didn't, go as planned. So that's just how it goes, I guess. Maybe but I did your homework assignment. I don't know where it went. I saved it as well, so I just have to find it. I don't even know what I titled it. That's so strange. But this is awesomely amazing, truthfully.
Oh, I wonder if this isn't working for me because I have to. Hold on.
Ah, live now. That's dope. Ah,
It says mic isn't working.
right. Yeah, this is the growing pains. No, I just randomly introduced you to this, like, hey, let's get on here now. You were like, okay, but without any training or nothing. So that's just how it goes. This is pretty dope, though, for it to be the first one. That's pretty awesome.
Gotta figure out how to get my mic to work.
Oh, okay, I see you, but it says your device isn't connected.
Right, because I have to. I might have to. Do you think I will need to let go of Zoom?
Yeah, yeah.
With other applications.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and close Zoom out, and then I'll just wait until you log into the YouTube portion, which I clearly did just now. Oh, I see you. What's up? Add you to the stream. Peace. What's good? That's corny.
Let's see.
Wow, that's so interesting. This is dope. And well, you're the only one watching this right now, so it's actually all good. But if other people like came in, they could log in, click this link, and join us in the conversation. So quite literally, actually, we could create a small community like this. where we're constantly. But I can take this. I can take this video down since this is our practice video. But if you had like, wow, this is so amazing. I'm like totally fascinated with this. Let me see if I can call my brother and Kepra, see if he'll log in.
Hold on, I'm getting a whole lot of different feedback. So
From me?
I'm, yeah, I'm
Well,
getting you saying what you're saying over and over again. So
wow. Maybe it's because I have a YouTube page open. Let me close everything I have open on this side. All right. Did that help?
I think it did help, and I closed the YouTube on my end too.
Oh, that's yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
okay, that's definitely what it was. It was a multiple YouTubes being open. So let me
Mhm.
see. Wow, this is really amazing. Oh man, this is pretty interesting. Yeah, my brother doesn't like it when I call him. They'll be like, "Hey man, do this." He gets he gets.
Well,
All right, can you see that?
mm-hmm.
It says we're live right now on YouTube.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. Wow, interesting. Well, anyway, let's talk about the spiritual life. It was so interesting, when we were all going to Howard. That was a very interesting time. Um, and it was. I think college life is a false narrative of life because it's the one time where you're like separated from really any responsibilities. Like you might have like a small job on the side or something, but like college life is extremely social.
Yeah.
It's like extremely social. Everything is about, what am I gonna do and how am I gonna interact with the people. Your job in college is to really just do your work. Um, but at the same time with that, we had so much time to explore, so many different aspects and concepts related to ourself and spiritual development. Um, and it was well, not almost, schoolwork was secondary to my spiritual work. And then when I graduated and got a job, that role flipped. And so, like today, my wife and I don't think we actually discussed this, but what I noticed was the issue that I was having was, or the issue that I've had was I'm a teacher. And so, like, I work a lot. I go to my work day started at like 6. Sometimes I would be at my school at like 6, 6:30, 6:45 for years. I would get to my school at 6:45 because I don't like lines for the copier. I wanted to beat everybody in the school building to the copier. So when everybody, because there's when you're a teacher, there's this concept that, well, not even a concept, it's a thing. Like there's a long line at the copier, and if you're not, and then some teachers have like 100 copies to run off. Some teachers have like 300 copies to run off. And like, if you don't get there early enough, you could be like struggling to get finished in time for the students. Long story short, but anyway, um, so my school didn't let in till almost 9, give or take 8:30 at that time. But I had been there almost 2 hours before, and then I would stay an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, 3 hours after school. And so my spirituality took a back seat to my work, and that just built up. And what happens with me that I have to what one of the things that I have to stop doing is I think I have so much spiritual energy that I can compromise a little bit. I can keep compromising a little bit. But what ends up happening is the piece of me that I compromise, I never put back. So as I'm
Mm.
compromising more and more, I'm relinquishing more of my own spiritual development. I'm compromising more of my own spiritual development in order to do and become something else, someone else. And so after a while, I turned around and looked in the mirror like, what is going on? Like, I don't even
Wow.
recognize myself anymore. Like, the things that are happening, I'm just like in this rut that, honestly, I chose because I'm choosing to put, a paycheck over my spirit. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what happened. And then, having to recognize that, realize what's going on, and then putting things in perspective and making a plan to, move from this situation into another one where I can devote the majority of my life and my time to the development of my spirit and the assistance and assisting with developing other people's spirituality at the same time. And so that's been my journey since leaving Howard, you know.
Mm.
So, and it has its ebbs and its flows. It's not consistent straight walk. I fall, I break my leg, and I have to go to the hospital and get it put back on, like put back together. So
Yeah.
a lot. So
I completely understand that. I have this funny thing I tell my clients, like spirituality is just not one of those things where you go into the spirituality store and you get your bag for this week and say, hey, I've got my fix and I'm gonna come back
mm,
next week. It's like really an everyday choice. um, and it can be difficult to maintain, but it's all about as easy or as difficult as you make it, and then acknowledging, I think, the things that you are doing
yeah,
towards that. um, I recognize that discipline is a big deal, and that's something that I've struggled with personally, especially with like meditation over the years. But one of the things I have had to acknowledge is that if spirit is present at all times, and if my ability to connect with that spirit is through all things, then there are several different mediums in which I can be spiritually active in my everyday life. And I think that becoming a mother made that a requirement
mm, right,
because spirituality is me folding the clothes and being present in that moment, in that divine moment. Spirituality is me listening to my child, and also seeing how my child's experience reflects back some of what my inner child is asking for. Am I willing to show up and serve in that capacity? um, there's been a lot of different experiences that I've had with spirituality, and I always go back to calling it self mastery, because
yeah,
I think that that's the highest spirituality that we can go through the process of learning and developing, is true knowledge of ourselves and who we truly are as spirit expressing itself through us, and how close we can get to really understanding, believing, and harnessing that energy to create from that place. Um, so yeah.
I really liked what you just said. Spirituality is me folding the clothes, because one thing that I've realized, like, there are people, certain people think that there has to be some like divine revelation, and a light from up high has to hit you in the head, and then your eyes open and you see everything like Neo in the Matrix. You can see everybody as energy, and you
Right.
manifest and walk through that energy field. And really, it's just the small details. It's like, how do you hold your cup?
Right.
Stuff like that. And like, how do you wake up? Really, in truth, honestly, one of the biggest aspects of spirituality I notice is, how do you interact with people?
Mm.
What is the exchange that you give the other person? What is the energy that comes from you that you give to the other person? Because people really respond to that. Like, that's one thing I've learned at the monastery. Like, at the monastery, everything is so detailed, and then especially the way you speak, like you preface every conversation you have with somebody else with "excuse me."
Mm.
Peace, sister, essentially. Peace, excuse me, sister, excuse me, brother.
Mm.
And then you begin the conversation. Everything is like, excuse me. If you make a noise, excuse me, any noise. Like, we say excuse me for a sneeze. But and then and when I first got there, I was like, why are we saying excuse me when you sneeze? Like, in the general society, we're acculturated to say, if somebody else is going to say God bless you, because back in medieval Europe it was believed like devils were being expelled from you.
Mm.
But in the monastery we say excuse me because we're saying excuse me for breaking the silence. So the monastery is all about silence. It's a discipline that you have within you, but one thing that is always stressed is just the details, the discipline and the details. Wow.
Uh-oh, what's going on?
Man, let me just, what in the madness? Well, let me just show you this.
Oh, wow.
You can see the flashing lights.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up. Remember I told you that, man, what's up with this? This is crazy. Hold on. Dang, I wish I had more people on the line, then I could leave you with somebody to talk. Because I want to go
You
outside.
want to go and see what's going on.
Yeah, that's unfortunate about my energy. I'm always trying to be in a mix.
Well, I thought what you said about how you treat people and that being a sign of spirituality, I thought that was interesting because one of the experiences or things that I've come into relation with has been the fact that our humanness is such a sign of our spirituality and our spiritual connection. Just that in our reflection, you have like no choice. I remember I was at Howard University and Dr. Audrey
Mm.
Bird in School of Communications, she asked us this question and she's like, where would you be without a mirror? What would happen if there were no mirrors, if there was just you, no mirrors in the world? And it's like, well, how would I see myself? How would I evaluate myself even? Because as we reflect our experiences, and the experiences are reflected back to us for us to challenge, to um, work through, even. And so I think that that's pretty awesome. I think it speaks to the mirroring aspect of spirituality and the human relationship.
Yes, yes. You know, at the one thing that is key to spirituality, you mentioned this earlier as well, is discipline.
Mm.
Maintaining a certain, I want to say regiment. That's very key because that becomes ritual for you.
Hmm.
And essentially what ritual is like the garnering of forces and energies around you towards a certain goal or a certain aim. And so when you set aside a time every day to do certain things, like if you know that at 5 o'clock every morning I'm going to meditate, what ends up happening is your subconscious mind gets programmed for that. At 5 o'clock you're going to meditate. So when you're engaged in like the simple lighting of the candle, lighting of the incense, straightening out your meditation or your sacred space, pouring libation to begin the meditation, whatever is the process you go through, you're like, it's like weightlifting. You're building up spiritual muscle, you're building up spiritual power, your ashe. And so when you sit down, then over the course of time, more and more energy comes to you. Now that's that. Now that sounds like what that big splash of light coming down and hitting you, and that happens. I'm not going to deny that. But say in the course of a year, I do, 400 plus meditations or so, sometimes twice a day or so, sitting for anywhere between. Most of my meditations are like 45 minutes. Reaching an hour, most, I don't know, not all the time. But honestly, a good 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes is most of my meditations, right? And what in the madness? And then the majority of that is just, they're like right outside my door. Hold on one second. Hold on
You
one
need to
second.
cut off the live stream and go check out what's going on.
No, just give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Something is really interesting. Like, look at this. Look at,
Look at the brother trying to make sure that I'm interested too.
oh, yeah, sorry. What is going on? Give me 1 second, one moment. Hold up.
Okay. And while I sit here and entertain myself.
All that drama for nothing.
What's going on? Nothing.
uh I could have ran out there. There's a few people out there that were looking. I could have ran to talk to them. I just didn't feel like it was worth it.
Okay.
So but yeah, but out of those 300, 50s, 400 meditations, I may have 8 really awesome experiences, and it's so, and that's it. But what ends up happening is there's more synchronicities that begin to happen in my life. More things begin to flow. There's a deeper understanding that I have, and so I mean, you do feel the energy of trance come, most times uh, when you're doing that. But it's more about what ends up happening is just the cleansing and the cleaning out of the temple in the body and of the mind. And so that's important. But what is also important, what I've noticed, is what images you take into the mind. What are you watching? That's very key. That's more key than almost anything else. Like, because what you watch, what you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you smell, these all elicit certain energies within us, which can be attached to desires, which are attached to psychological impressions left upon our minds, which are then attached to actions, which either bring joy, pleasure, or pain. And even joy, pleasure can even equal pain later. But that joy and that pleasure is such a strong pull to it. We'll go through the joy and the pleasure and deal with the pain as it comes, because we find that it may be worth it. But all of that really leads to what we allow to enter through our 5 gates, the senses. So
See, you might need to do a class on the 5 gates and how to guard, guide, and protect the 5 gates.
I need to keep guarding mine.
Yeah.
So, but that's key, and that's key, because you can sit but at the same time, so the teaching is, if you cannot, if you can't walk, if you can't run on the spiritual path, walk. If you can't walk on the spiritual path, uh, jog. I mean, if you can't run, jog. If you can't jog, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, look. If you can't look, desire. Constantly, but the goal is to desire spirit. As long as you're desiring spirit and a closer connection and relationship to spirituality, these things will be overcome. If the light is there within the soul cannot remain in darkness for very long. Or the soul will not be in darkness forever.
That's right.
So one of the beautiful benefits, though, of staying on the spiritual path is you don't have to learn the lessons of why you should be back on the spiritual path. But that's also the boring part of it, to a degree. That's because people like to learn the lessons. That's why we're here learning the lessons. That's essentially also why we disconnected from the universal one, the allness. There was a consistency there, and there was a desire for this is what is taught, though. So to a degree, we could say it's conjecture, spiritual theory, almost, until you merge your consciousness with the one. Now that's not theory, that happens. It has happened. And so the teachings of these sages, they say that the divine essence had a desire for experience. And as a result of that desire for experience, a multitude and a myriad of consciousness and energy began to manifest. And so then it's like, okay, but then eventually we get tired of the experience and we want to go back to repose. That's essentially what it is. And that's how it kind of almost mirrors life, as we come into life and as we're young, oh, we want this experience, we want to be like this, we want to be like what we see. And then we get it and we recognize and realize there's something missing within it. Like
Mm.
it doesn't hold that wholeness that we thought it did. It doesn't fulfill us the way we thought it would fulfill us. Or we continuously chase after that feeling of wholeness by constantly seeking those experiences over and over again, but they're so fleeting.
Yeah.
The party only lasted for that one night and for those few hours, and then it's over with.
Right.
Energy is gone. You have to go back and get it. You have to get that joy and that peace again inside that energy. And then you get burnt out on that, and then you go on to something else, and you're constantly chasing that and chasing that. But you're chasing the divine essence, because the divine essence, once you merge yourself with it, is complete and total joy and peace.
Mm.
So, anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got plenty to put on your live video.
You said, so I'm sorry, say
You,
that
you
again.
have plenty to put on your live videos.
Uh, well, this is awesome. We've been on for quite a while though, but how do you like this as a platform?
I think it's pretty cool. I'd like
Yeah.
to see how it interacts with the comments and a community of people that want to have and engage in the same conversation. And I'd like to see how it is when you invite other people to get on too.
Right.
See if it's
Some,
more than one person talking, kind of like a little room
mhm.
conversation. That'd be nice.
Well, we had either one of us is gonna have to get popular.
Hmm.
So,
Good luck with that.
uh,
I'm just little old me in
well,
Texas doing what I do.
I'm striving. I'll be up in Harlem next week on streets, doing readings. So
Wonderful.
um, I'm striving. I'll have a brother named Rajni Edens on in a second. This is a brother that does. He's an amazing poet. This brother is awesome. Like I mean that brother is like the poetry god. Like something's really this,
Wow.
or a son of him or a nephew or something. He's in the family. So
Okay.
he's really dope. So we, and he's really at this time, like, chosen to like use his talent to be his force to move through the world. So it's really beautiful. He's agreed to come on and discuss his journey and his path and what he's taking. So we'll see. Maybe you could try.
Wonderful.
Maybe I'll let you know when that happens. You can chime in and see how it
Oh,
goes.
yeah, that'd be nice. I'd love to be a part of that,
Okay.
or to be there viewing, whichever one.
Well, what we could also do with this is we could create a spiritual community,
Yeah,
that we share with the world.
I would love that. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Okay.
Whatever works. Let's just go in the direction. Today, I released my ideal that I can't do social media,
Oh
and I just
yeah.
said, okay, all right, priest, you want to do it? Let's do it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No. This is what it is. This is a narrative that I'm developing, or this is a theory that I'm developing to a degree, and I'm gonna do more research to kind of put it together. But what I'm noticing now is that, like, we're people, you and I, and people that are older than us, we're leaving I like to say the Piscean age. We came in at the tail end of the Piscean age, and the Piscean age, or that the previous age. Some brother was like, "Oh, it's not the Aquarius age." I don't want to get into those discussions. It's clear that there's been a change of energy in the world. And it's clear there's been a shakeup.
mhm.
I say 2012 started this whole social media thing. Instagram came out, I think, in 2012. Or it started getting popular. YouTube wasn't really, whatever. You understand? Like 2012 or around that time period, the energy started shifting. We have this huge social shift in society now because of social media, right?
Yep,
And
yep,
then all of the spiritual secrets are on social media. Like,
yeah,
whatever, like, I thought it was massively deep back in the day that I learned how to do all the pranayama exercises. I could
right,
type in pranayama on YouTube and learn them all there.
right. It just
You
takes
know,
all of the grandeur out of it.
yeah, the mystery is gone. Like, like, I learned about the concepts that I just expressed to you. You can go on YouTube and listen to somebody talk about that. Like I had to
Hmm.
search, like go through like libraries and bookstores and like look for something to fall into my hand. And that age is gone.
Right.
There's bookstores
It's
are
available
closed.
to everyone. I think
Yeah.
availability is obvious at this point, but now it's about application.
Now it's about application, agreed. But
Yeah, I mean, because if you can know the law, but if you don't use the law correctly, the law's always working, right? But if
yeah,
you know how to harness it and use it to do what you're supposed to do, or to get what you are intending to get, or mm, it's
that
still gonna work. It's still gonna
that's
work. It's not gonna yield the manifestation you desire.
no, you're right. The other thing too, though, brothers and sisters such as ourselves and older, we are not as attuned to the social media,
Hmm.
world,
Hmm.
and but we are the ones with the knowledge. You
Right.
know, So what's ended up happening is younger and younger brothers and sisters are gravitating towards people that may just whoever is building on the information that they want,
Hmm.
regardless of how they're being, regardless of what's being built. And they're
Right.
finding that these brothers and sisters are not necessarily authentic.
Hmm.
You understand? Because what they've done is they've Googled spiritual life, or
Right.
they've Googled the essence of the universe. And then
Just
they
the
just,
idea of
yeah,
Googling is so hilarious.
yeah, it's like Google scholars, and then they read it, and then they, because they have the ability to recall information, at a fast rate, and then link concepts together. There's the false understanding that they have knowledge, and then they
Right.
go out here and they talk, and then we see their life, because social media is like all about like consistent presence.
Hmm.
So a lot of times you'll see the lives of these people manifest on social media, and you can tell the application of the law, whether or not they have knowledge, by you can tell the tree by the fruit it produces.
Hmm.
You understand? So you can tell the quality of their knowledge by the life that they live. And it's kind of scattered, haphazard, and wild. And then people are like, oh, he's a scammer, she's a scam artist, such and such did this. And that's because there's no quality of cultivation that went on.
Mm.
So it's imperative that brothers and sisters like yourself, myself, we understand this media platform and we use it to influence others.
Yeah, I know that they're talking about TikTok right now is supposed to be something that's really big. You make these quick clips and videos, and people just tune in from like all over the world. Have you seen that one?
I know that's just another one I gotta learn, yeah, because it's
I'm
like,
like, it's
it,
so much stuff. This is why, brother, I do not normally do the video, and I know it's getting dark, so if it starts to get too dark, let me know. But I'm used to just people that want to have those conversations. Somehow they find me. I don't know
that's,
how they find me, but they do. Um, I barely market, but I'm working on it. Um, I don't know. The social media thing is.
well, I
I don't
know.
want. It's like not wanting to. I don't personally want to be all like all of those other people. I want to be me. I want to continue to keep all of who I am and my authenticity and what I bring to the table. But I do want to grow and I do want to impact people. So I'm happy that you're into the social media. I have a lot to learn.
And that is the normal way that spiritual beings have been, and I can't deny that. It is the traditional way in which teacher and student have met. It is the traditional way in which student has walked. Um, but I'm also noticing when the sisters at Howard contacted me,
Hmm.
and they were telling me that they use social media to galvanize over 2,000 people to support the garden. I was shocked.
Yeah,
I
it's a
was
force.
happy. Yeah, I was happy if we got 20 people to know about the garden at school.
Wow.
You remember what it was like?
Hmm. I remember that.
Yeah, it was like it was consistently 5 people at max, working in the garden. But with the power of social media, you know, you more and more people can be informed quickly. But that's the power and the problem with social media is
Mm-hmm.
more and more people can be informed quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
there's this like lack of consistency. There's this short attention span thing going on, you know.
Yeah,
So there is problems with it. There's a quality problem with it, but for
it's a beautiful
myself,
thing.
yeah, for myself, um I've actually gone against many of the principles that traditional people like myself have like um adhered to. And that's primarily because I've seen the change that's occurring. You know, like brick and mortar stores are almost like a thing of the past. You know,
Right,
having a spiritual bookstore is almost irrelevant when you can go online and look at everything you may have in those books.
right.
You know, where and so or when you can go online and find it cheaper somewhere else or order it from somewhere else. You know, that's where things are headed now. Most, you know, you don't we come from an era where we were like so happy to get like a DVD or a video or something of like a deep of like what's the zeitgeist or something
Mm-hmm.
of that nature. You know, it was like, wow, that was deep for us. And you got a million zeitgeists out there now. You got the anti zeitgeist out there now. You know, you have so many different things. And so the world and the media for the media is changing, and I've just decided that I think a change needs to happen as well.
Yeah,
You look tired, so let's go ahead and
I'm
call it.
not tired. I need to.
Uh,
I'm gonna ask. I was about to get the light and turn it on. I'm actually good. Hold on one
uh,
second, because it's getting dark in here.
okay. Oh yeah, it's really bright in there now. Yeah, wow. Okay. I
I
didn't
told
even,
you it was getting dark. Remember, I told
I
you I
thought, yeah,
rearranged this desk, and when I did, I moved my light out of the way, so I had to put the room light on.
right. I'm looking at myself on Facebook right now, seeing
How's
what
it?
it.
Is it looking good to you?
Ah, hold up, though.
Yeah, that's one thing I have to get used to. I'm just a big introvert, but I am working on. I am not working on it. It is happening now. I am here.
Right, right. Wow,
Um,
so interesting. So
yeah,
this.
but you're right. Getting out on social media is so important. It is important. It is important for us to take advantage of the time and use it,
Hmm.
because we have access in ways that people back in the day just did not have this level of access. It was so much harder to come by.
It was.
Um,
I mean, yeah. There are people. There are people now who have watched YouTube videos and other documentaries, learned the information really well, and then claimed it for themselves, and are now, you know, the brothers and sisters that are in their night that are becoming 19, 20, 18, that have that spiritual inkling, are running across these people, and because these people are older and have learned this information before them, they're acting as if though they're a spiritual teacher, and then
right.
to a large degree abusing them, you know.
Mhm.
And then I mean they're imparting information to them, but it's being directed and channeled in a devious way, you
Mm.
know, and not being honest and truthful, and with the expression that this information and this knowledge really doesn't belong to anybody. It's been universal since the
Right.
universe has been around. So you may just be a conduit of a certain type of information, stronger than other people, but it's you are not like the special guy or the special girl that's been chosen by God or something, you know. But you have people out here, doing that to people.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have those that, may choose to teach and teach. And if you want to learn more, you have to keep paying me. You have to keep giving to me in this way. And I think that with that, I think that the best thing you can give to a person is their ability to continue to do the work for themselves. Um, and I think sometimes when people are looking for a thing, when they're looking for fulfillment in certain areas, they may easily fall into traps where they're getting a little bit and then getting a little bit more and then getting a little bit more and not really fully becoming self-sufficient. When I say self-sufficient, I mean self-sufficient in themselves and in the spirit.
Right.
um, I think that's one of those things too that I like to address with my clients. And the goal is for you to get strong and not to lean on me, you know.
But I agree. I think what I'm starting to learn those is, or what I've learned in my recent walk here, is the importance of spiritual community. You
Yeah,
know,
that's so big. This
yeah,
is I learned
because
that because I didn't have one for a long time.
yeah, that,
And
that
that was terrible.
that's extremely important. I'm beginning to realize, because otherwise, what you relegate yourself to is a devotion to your spiritual practice in isolation.
Hmm.
You know, and then it makes it easier. That will make it easier to make a choice to stop the discipline.
Mm,
So the spiritual community is extremely important. That's the other good thing about social media.
hmm.
Is through this we could connect with other people. You're not even around me. Like we're like
What is
eighteen
that? Like
hundred,
1800,000,
yeah,
1800 miles apart?
1,800 miles apart. But you know, uh, Brother Torian has changed his name to Kumar now.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can get Kumar. He wouldn't like that either. Yeah, yeah, they don't like me doing that. But he's used to it. He's
I
used to
forgot
me
what
doing
is JP's new name.
Quayle.
Quayle and Kumar.
Yeah, but Brother Kumar now leads a meditation group on Mondays and Wednesdays in Memphis. As a matter of fact, man, let me see if I can get this brother on the line. Hold up. I'll let him tell me no. I'm not going to assume he's going to say no.